Tensions rise, Ramaphosa's strategies and U.S. relations under scrutiny. Recent developments in international relations between South Africa and the United States have spotlighted President Cyril Ramaphosa's controversial diplomatic approaches, particularly in relation to U.S. President Donald Trump. Retired Colonel Chris Wyatt, a U.S. intelligence analyst, criticized Ramaphosa's tactics, suggesting that the South African president may be positioning himself as a martyr to gain sympathy through potential sanctions. This strategy unfolds against a backdrop of complex geopolitical maneuvering and domestic challenges within South Africa. The country's long-standing reliance on the support of Western nations, primarily the U.S., is being tested as Ramaphosa navigates a landscape altered by global shifts and internal pressures. Colonel Wyatt pointed out that the support South Africa once expected from BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and the European Union seems to have waned. This poses a significant risk to South Africa's international and economic policies, which have been heavily tied to the benefits received under agreements like the African Growth and Opportunity Act, Agoa. Moreover, the cessation of the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, in South Africa introduces another layer of difficulty. PEPFAR has been a critical initiative in combating HIV/AIDS in South Africa, a country with one of the highest rates of the disease globally. The decision to end PEPFAR is seen as a direct consequence of what the U.S. perceives as South Africa's threatening moves against its national security interests. Amid these controversies, the presence of an Afrikaner delegation in the U.S. has also stirred debate. The delegation, reportedly engaged in discussions with U.S. officials, emphasizes the growing concern among various South African groups about the country's current trajectory under Ramaphosa's leadership. Political analysts argue that the potential for personal sanctions against leaders of the African National Congress, ANC, and further economic repercussions could severely impact South Africa's socio-economic stability. The threat of losing Agoa benefits, which supports several jobs and is a significant part of South Africa's economic interaction with the U.S., looms large. Additionally, Ramaphosa's criticism in international forums and his recent legislative actions, particularly regarding land expropriation without compensation, have only served to strain relations further. These actions are perceived as contrary to the agreements that govern international trade and diplomacy norms, particularly those emphasizing property rights and economic cooperation. The political landscape in South Africa is charged with increasing international isolation and internal discontent. As global alliances shift, the country finds itself at a crossroads, needing to navigate its domestic policies and international relations carefully to avoid significant fallout. As the situation develops, the international community and South African citizens alike are watching closely, aware that the decisions made in the coming months could redefine South Africa's place on the global stage. Thank you for choosing Satori News.